Hello and welcome to March 2, the pod presented by Eternal Roofing, Season 4, Episode 4. Big show tonight. We know you're waiting. We're getting there. We're going to talk about the New Jersey sponsorship with a very, very special guest. Going to talk. Phil Longo had a press conference on the fall camp, and we got another position preview. I'm Cory Hogue, your host, producer, once banned from catfans.com member, and now possibly permanently banned from Twitter. Find an update on that on my Substack. Otherwise, you can find me Facebook, YouTube, and other social media channels, not named Twitter right now, at Cory Hogue Sports, CoryHogue Sports. I'm joined by the co-host, analyst, the real ball knower, the reason why you're watching of this podcast. He's the man behind at Sports of SHSU on Twitter and Instagram, proud Bearcat himself, Ben Sorrells. And Ben, we have started the last few shows with some really positive stuff happening in Sam Houston land. And boy, did that hit a new level this week, huh?
Oh, yeah. The excitement is real.
Let's wait no further. There was a big jersey sponsorship brought out this week, and that brings in the CEO of SnapBack Sports, Jack Settleman. Jack, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. I'm so excited to be here. The dream is being as deep in with the internet and college football as you could possibly be. And so, while it would be great to go on the biggest sports podcast in the world and scream the Sam Houston name, I like to get acquainted with the real people, with the real fans. So I'm just ecstatic to learn and talk to you guys tonight.
I'm that guy they love to hate because sometimes I'll say it when it's not nice. That's me. But there's been a lot of positive, and that jersey sponsorship is a lot of it. Tell us about that, and kind of tell us more about SnapBack Sports and how you got started, who you guys are.
Yeah. So we've been going for almost 9 years. So I started a Snapchat account when I was a senior at University of Texas, at Texas OU Red River. Just started posting highlights similar to House of Highlights on Instagram. Built up a really big following. And the one thing that we always did, I say it's we now. It was me at the first few years, but I'm a we guy.
I know the feeling.
was showcase like live sports experiences. So that after 5 years of working in the real world, building up SnapBack, 2021, I go live on my own. And the core thing we do is showcase like sports experiences. We call them SnapBack experiences. And so it just really hit big. People love to see. Everyone can watch what's going on TV, but the tailgating, the fan culture, the food, local cuisine, the bars, whatever it might be. That's almost what old game day was like. Not even college football game day. I remember college basketball game day. Like they would always do stories on like these wacky super fans, right? And so I just love that. And I think COVID was a big part of this because everyone was cooped up and then everyone wanted to go explore again. And so that's kind of when we took off, and college football is just a huge, huge part of our content slate and offering. And so when the original jersey patch, got announced that LSU was going to go for it, I was like, let us try. Like we're finally in a place where maybe we can spend a couple bucks and do some kind of like brand marketing. Obviously the patch didn't get approved for anyone that year, but then this January, the NCAA changed that rule. So we went back live in our pursuit. It was a wild ride. We got close with Rice. We got close with some other schools. We were talking to Sam Houston, and we were told by all these MMR partners, we'll never get it done. Like you guys are too content heavy. They want safe, and all those things are probably true. So what was fun, I think, at least for me throughout this 6-month kind of process was at the end, we had a choice. And, we started with them saying you wouldn't even have a chance, and we ended up with a choice. And I think the pick, I've talked about it, but I want to share it here as well. The pick for us was easy. Sam Houston is in the perfect spot. We love the FCS. We went to South Dakota State and Montana, saw the Grizz Cat game last year. We were just infatuated with that energy. But really what it was 4 games, midweek Conference USA, fun time. Like, that's so perfect because transparently, one of the things we didn't want to have to sacrifice was going to some of our best performing content, whether it's FCS or games at Iowa at Kinnick at night or Bama, Georgia, whatever it might be. So the fact that we could kind of accomplish the best of both worlds was awesome. And then Orange, like I went to Texas growing up, the school I went to K through 12, they were orange. The Orioles, I'm from Baltimore, they're orange. So orange is in my blood. There was just a lot of really good energy. And yeah, we're just pumped up to like, I want to talk about and at least learn from you guys tonight, like how we went 10-2, 10-3 a few years ago. Last year's a down year. I feel like they're sleeping on the Cats. And like, of course, I want to get excited about the team, but like bias aside, I feel like year 2, like the entire roster was depleted. No shit. Am I allowed to curse on the show?
Go for it.
Yeah.
It's not the first time. We've got Cory here.
That's right.
I'm like, no shit. They had a bad season. Now they've got some stability back in a home stadium. Like, it literally felt like everything was against them last year. Yeah. And people have already started to think that like, this is the version of Sam Houston. Last year is the version that you're going to get forever. I'm like, what about 24 months ago when this team was, winning a New Orleans Bowl? So yeah, I'm just fired up. I'm excited. And I'm glad that we brought some good energy and good news to Huntsville.
Yeah. And Cory, I'm going to nix the next question because Jack kind of hit on it. But we
don't need questions. We can just talk to him.
Right. Well, in the transition between 24 and 25, so you go 9-3 in the regular season. Casey Keeler departs about 2 days after we beat Liberty at home. That was the final game at the old Bauer Stadium. He goes to Temple, and you hire Phil Longo, but you hire Phil Longo 19 days after the portal opened. So that was a huge disadvantage. Right. You also had defensive coordinator Skylar Cassidy go to North Texas, took the entire 2 deep there.
He's now making a couple mil up at Oklahoma State with Eric Morris.
He's now at Oklahoma
Incarnate Word.
He's now at Oklahoma State. You also had no home stadium. So it was just a combination of factors. Sam Houston is a program that is used to winning. I mean, all we've known is winning for close to 2 decades now. And it was just the perfect storm. And like you said, things are trending much more up this year. You've got a lot more continuity on both ends of the ball. You've got a quarterback that you feel good in. It's the first time since the 2021 season you don't have a QB battle going into camp. So there is a lot more optimism this year than last year. And I know we're all excited for this season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like last year was everything that could be wrong went wrong. You couldn't play at home, so you had to go play in a soccer stadium in downtown.
Almost 2 hours away
in
traffic, yeah.
And nobody shows up because, you're down in Houston and you've got a new coach, a completely new roster. And he mentioned at Media Day that he was building off the leftovers of the portal too, like Ben said, So all of that, look, I love it. I love seeing these preseason polls. I love seeing them last. Because I know how this is going to end. At least I believe I know. We always do it. Next week, we're doing our picks where we go against the over-under, which is like 3.5 right now. And last year felt like easy money, but this year feels like easy money too.
Yeah, especially on the over this year. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, Jack, you get into the jersey patch stuff, and you wrote a newsletter on that was outstanding. Kind of take us through how some of that went, and then shoot your questions. We got the Sam Houston ball knower over here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I touched on it a bit. We kind of went out to market, and the initial pitch was like, whoever the best team is that will let us put our logo on their jersey, like, we're in. And so that led to a lot of really interesting and fun conversations. But in the first few days, first few weeks, first few months, it was everyone kind of feeling out the market and their MMR partners telling them, oh, you're going to get way more money. Don't talk to SnapBack, right? They're not coming in with as much money. I think that what happened over the last week since we announced, which it feels like weeks, but it was just on Monday. But since Monday, like we've kind of proven a bit of the model where apparently UTEP also announced their jersey partner, and like
you would have never known,
right? No one heard a word, right? No one heard a word.
Which is so perfect because they just left.
And so we're making national noise, and this is kind of the pitch. And I think that there's a sense of self-awareness that comes with Sam Houston that I so much appreciated, that some of the other schools, some of even the lower level Power Fours, I know this might sound crazy to them, but like in this new NCAA, NIL, business-centric kind of college football world, what's to say like one of these lower level Power Fours, it doesn't have any brand recognition. It doesn't have any brand differentiation. And right now you might be sitting high on your laurels because you're in a Power Four. What happens when they kick you out? Because a different school like Memphis comes in and pops you out, right? So I think that some schools recognize how important content exposure, how much recruiting could improve based off just bringing awareness. I mean, this was the thing that when we were valuing our package, we almost couldn't put a price tag on it because Fernando Mendoza watches our content, right? He's the number one pick Heisman winner, right? But maybe more importantly, Archie Wilson, who went and won and punted at Nebraska, he's from Australia. He said, as he was being recruited and living in Australia, he was watching our content to learn about the different types of schools and culture of the SEC versus the Big Ten versus, and of course there's more factors, but put a price tag on swinging one recruit, right? In this day and age where cash is king. But if you don't have the cash, what are the other things? And so just an awareness, like I think the fact that you guys talk about a winning culture, us pushing that agenda is so valuable to the school. And I think that that's really the impact that we're hopeful to make. As it stands, we're hoping to get Melvin Gordon, who's going to be with us all fall, down to Huntsville. Like our access and exposure that we can kind of bring is something that we know distribution and content is king nowadays. And so, yeah, we think the value is there. And so, yeah, we're just excited.
And you guys showed that this week. The amount, millions of impressions, it was just incredible. And you're right. The number one thing you can always do is try to reach new people.
Yep.
Right. But I know you didn't know, Texas, right? UT. We could talk Longhorns, but it's Sam Houston now. It's the Cats with the K, right? Yeah. Everybody likes to make fun of that. I kind of love that thing.
I love it.
So. And I know you did a lot of studying this week. You were learning the fight song and some of those things. What did you know about Sam Houston before you even started like talking to him about the jersey patch?
I didn't know the rich history. Like I said, we love the FCS. We kind of just really discovered it last year. So it was funny then when I watched the doc on the decision and it's, they beat Montana State and then the decisions against Montana. And I was like, oh my God, those were two teams that we fully interacted with last year. And then they lost to North Dakota State in the
lost to them back to back. Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw them play, South Dakota State. So like, it became very familiar very quickly. I knew the colors. I knew Sam Houston, the name. I didn't know that he was an iconic figure in U.S. history. And so I learned that. I thought that how there's like a Mike linebacker and a Sam linebacker. I thought that was how they described Houston in relation to downtown Houston. I didn't know that Sam Houston was a legendary military member. So yeah, I've learned a lot. I've learned about Flanders. Obviously I knew about McCown. I knew, didn't know about the McCullum brothers. So yeah, it's been but now I'm in deep, right? So we've got the couch. You guys taught me about tripod. You taught me about March 2nd, which I told you I have a story about March 2nd. So my wife, we've been married 2 years now, but we started dating, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. We started dating on March 2nd, and then we got engaged on March 2nd. So 3-2, is like, it's in my blood. It's in your guys' blood. So her maiden name is Katz. So I don't know what the odds of all this is, but there is some even deeper kind of connection than I think we initially anticipated.
It's a universe connection.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to be spending some time in Huntsville, I think next week, and then a little bit of time this year too.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Sam Houston statue? Do you know about the Sam Houston statue? And then what are some of the recommendations you've gotten in town so far?
Yeah. So I know the statue, but we're excited to see it kind of in person. I know I've been recommended to go to Humphreys and a couple other spots that I have listed on my phone. But yeah, we're coming on Wednesday night late. The problem is this trip, we're so jam packed with content, as we should be Thursday, Friday. I don't know how much we're going to get to do, but the plan is in October, we're going to come Monday and then we're just going to stay the whole week. So we're going to do content Monday, Tuesday, go to the game Wednesday with everyone. Thursday, more content, explore town. Friday, we want to throw an event to get like the whole fan base community kind of together. Either Friday night or Saturday, so we can watch, other ball, our college football playoff contenders. We got to track them and our CUSA foes. And then Sunday, Monday, depending on what day the team leaves for Missouri State, then we'll kind of leave town. So I'm really excited to like spend a whole week. Like we are just obsessed. I mean, we do this in a short period of time when we travel around every weekend. But the fact that we'll kind of have a full week to meet everyone, get to engage with the community and all that's what I'm probably most excited for this season.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Big E's, another good one. Potato Shack. I'm sure you heard about the Jolly Fox, Shenanigans, all those good things. Those are some of the good ones to hit up. Last question I think we've got before some trivia. So have you gotten to know the roster at all this year? Who are some of the names you're looking at? Do you have a favorite player? I think y'all might have mentioned this a little bit on the live session earlier this week, but who are some of the guys you're looking at?
Yeah. So I know QB1, I know Grady, cause we've been DMing a bit. And that's the extent of it, except when I say extent of it, I don't know who everyone is yet. But I've gone through the roster, and that was another thing I was hyped about. Some of the greatest freaking names of all time on this roster. I mean, there's like 20 kids who have hyphens in the last name. We're obsessed with that. And then everyone else has like a cooler name than the next person. So I need to get more acclimated. That's part of the plan when we come down. The tricky part with college is like, it's twice the size of the NFL. You can't learn everyone overnight. And I'm sure even you guys as the ball knowers know, with the portal, it's like a new team almost every year. There's more consistency this year, but still it's tricky. Every year I feel like you got to learn.
Yeah.
You ought to look at some names on the men's basketball team too.
Yeah, so we had a Po' Boy King last year, and this year we have a guy named Yoda.
Okay, that's on Hoops. That's on Hoops.
That's in Hoops.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, some cool names there. Two I'll throw out there. One with the hyphen, Josh Alexander Felton, going to be a star on the edge for us, and then Landon Coco Brown. Might be Landon Brown on the roster, but he goes by Coco.
I honestly think Coco is on the website as his nickname, and it's included in his true name. So it's just an incredible names team, which is amazing. I won't lie. One of the things that attracted me to Rice was they have a player. His name is Mobility.
Yes.
Yeah. So like that's pretty good. I don't know if we have anyone who's got a cooler name than that, but roster depth of names is got to be top 10 in FBS.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing I want to ask you before we really start getting into trivia here, though, but you mentioned earlier how the weekday was a big thing for you. I find that so interesting because that weekday CUSA, so many people complain and gripe about that. And for you, it's a huge draw because now you're going to be on ESPN 4 times.
100%. That's all it is. And that was another thing. Like when we go to Tech, we'll hype up that matchup as much as we can, but that slate is absolutely loaded. And we're going to be at Washington that weekend, sailgating, boozing, and we've already joked, like, we're going to be sailgating over to the Big Ten home opener for Washington. We're going to be on some boat and tell them to put the Sam Houston game on, right? Get Ohio State off the screen, put on Sam Houston.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, we're going to the LSU home opener for Kiffin. and we play Troy like an hour and a half before that, right? So you just have to be self-aware and know that like you're probably going to get washed over a bit. Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, when no one's got anything to do, like we are prime time. Like it is almost if you had told me we could be Saturday 7:30 on ESPN2 or Tuesdays, Wednesdays 7:30 on ESPN2, I'd take Tuesdays, Wednesdays all day. Now, I get it from a fan perspective. If you're going to games, you got shit to do all week. Like I get it. But for us who I don't have anything else to do, this is my life. You know, I'm lucky. I absolutely love it. And I think the exposure is money. I don't know. I think they were telling us Conference USA calls it like weekday fun or something. Obviously, Maction is a much smoother, rolls off the tongue kind of thing. But Conference USA kind of stole their chain. They're doing it in October. I like the vibe.
Yeah, weekday CUSA. And then, Cory, one more thing I wanted to mention. Jack, have you heard the song Snap Snap by the former player Carl Henderson?
There's a few tracks that have been finding my replies. I'm not sure if I've heard that one specifically, but the song that got played to our patches being made was like a sick song. So like there's a lot of good tunes going around.
So when we were making the national title run in 2011, Carl Henderson, he played at Sam from 2000 to 2002. He came out with a song called Snap Snap. So I'll have to send it to you after this. And it kind of blew up and people still listen to it. So it's just a cool connection. You've got the March 2 stuff. We've got the Snap Snap stuff. So I thought it was cool.
A lot of ties.
All right, I know you've been studying, right? So this is a little play out. Ben was sending me some things. I did, and I put in when I wrote earlier, I didn't know Snapback Sports was a thing, and now I'm like all into it all of a sudden, right? So that gained you one person right there. I don't know how much that's worth, but that's one person.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what we do. We are men of the people. We are one by one. That's how what we say our tagline is, we do the unscalable, right? These big companies, they want you scale, millions of followers, which we have. But I like to build it one by one, 100 by 100, 1,000 by 1,000, because then we build real connections and then we got fans for life. So we have a sports trivia app. And so if we get 2 more downloads from this, that's 2 more than we had yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, because of the sports trivia app, it inspired us to kind of do a little play on it. Sam Houston edition. So we're going to see what you know. We're guessing Bearcat icons and notables. You ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
First names.
There we go. Yeah, the McCollum brothers. I knew those guys.
You know the first names?
It's Zion and I literally just clicked it. Zion. What's the other brother's name?
Tristan.
Yeah. I knew that. Okay.
So they were 2 of our starting DBs when we won the national title, and they're the first set of twins to ever play in an NFL playoff game against each other.
There we go. And Tristan is now on the Raiders, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Zion signed a big deal with the Bucs last offseason.
So when I realized that Tristan went to the Raiders, so one thing that we do is we always check bye weeks. Because we want to see, like, you know, what are the odds that the Bucs have a bye week the week that we're down there, like Tristan or Zion comes down. There's no correlated bye weeks. We're actually going to be at Oklahoma the week that the Bucs are on, and so we know like we might see Baker there. So like we're always doing that research. So I was bummed to see that those didn't correlate, because I would love to get those guys down, get them in the content, you know, highlight them being Sam Houston stars.
Yeah, good dudes.
We love Texas, so we don't really talk about Oklahoma much, right?
Yeah, trust me. I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Phil Longo, right? That's coach. Okay. I got that.
A little bit of an easier one.
So you guys said after I drop off, you're going to discuss what his comments were at fall camp. And so someone asked, one of the reporters asked about, you know, the jersey patch.
That was Cory that asked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was.
Oh, I got to recognize your voice better. So Sean, you'll learn, and I think you've seen him on Twitter. He's our head of
is that D3 basketball?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll tell everyone he played D3 basketball. Trust me, Huntsville will be well aware that he worked in college athletics and played D3 basketball.
He's got a year left now, I heard.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, Cory, you asked Coach, and Sean wrote in our Slack, and he was like, kind of a non-answer. I didn't think it was a non-answer at all. I actually thought that it was a very much like acknowledgement. I almost think without saying it, what Coach was saying was like, not that he feels more pressure, but it's kind of like, all right, we need to like perform so that this thing, right? Like it's only as helpful as it is. If we go 2-10 again and SnapBack screaming our name, people are kind of, but if we make a bowl game and you've got us behind you, it's kind of like that, lighting a fire that could really snowball things.
Yeah. And with
I've
Phil,
got those comments here if you want to run that clip, Ben.
Yeah,
go for it.
All right, here is a 47-second clip of what Longo said in relation of all the access you're getting. That was my question, right?
Yeah,
That's a lot of access for a coach to give. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think it's great from a PR standpoint. It's good from an exposure standpoint, and the truth is it's a necessary part of what we need to do now in the football program. We need to create as many revenue streams as we can. And this is one of those avenues. And, I know right now there's a team of people on both the athletic side and the university side that are trying to navigate and strategize, moving forward here with everything and anything that we can do that we feel is within good representation of the program to try and help football and all of the sports and athletics create some more revenue, which we all know is a major part of our lifeblood right now.
Yeah, I was going to add with Longo, he's never an overly emotional guy.
Yeah.
He's always even at practice, doesn't raise his voice, so it was definitely not a non-answer. I think it was a really positive answer.
Totally. Yeah. And I was going to say, Cory, it's 47 seconds, but there's 47 seconds I could break down, four different 10-second segments. There's a lot in there. And I think one thing that's very important for everyone in the Sam Houston world to understand, Coach to understand, I think he'll see this next week when we're there and how we kind of cover and share the team. With access comes a responsibility to the seriousness of the program. And as much fun as we like to have with funny content and like to, poke fun at ourselves, this is not a joke at all. And I think that, when I first publicly kind of went live with this campaign, a bunch of people came to me and were like, are you nervous? Someone similar is going to kind of steal this idea, right? It's a really sharp idea if you can pull it off. And what I said was, a lot of these other lookalike companies, they don't have the ability to also be serious, right? And they can only kind of be humorous, and so like we were, I think our best kind of test for this was we had all access with the UCF men's basketball team at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. And they were on the bubble. Right. They needed to win, and they go down at half to Cincy, and coach is screaming and yelling, and we got all the footage in the locker room. There's stuff from there that like we were allowed to, right. We had full reign, but there's stuff that we're respectful and wanted to reserve and not share with the world. There's stuff that you could always clip. Right. And Sam Houston is going to lose a game this season. Hopefully not, but they are, right? And so we are professionals and we're not goofballs in the sense of like, we're not going to make people look bad. That's not our job. Ironically, everyone, every school we talked to, their first question was like, how are you not going to make us look bad? I said, how would that benefit me? I got to spend a lot of money to make this school look good. Why would I want to make, but people they come from a fearful point of view, but there's no fear needed. Like we are here to highlight the positives, to be self-aware, but when we're self-aware, to be respectful. And so that's just important for me to share because it really is what makes us different and why I'm so confident in this relationship.
Oh, we get that too. My 9 years in this business, there's a lot of things behind the scenes you don't discuss.
Exactly.
Yeah. It just is. All right, let's get back to the trivia here. You ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
It's a little bit more difficult here.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
That's Josh McCown, right?
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My ding button is not as close as I would like for it to be right now.
So I'm supposed to go to a Viking. So we go to Northwestern for the opening of the stadium October 2nd. And I'm supposed to then swing over to Minnesota on October 4th do something with the Vikings. And Josh is obviously up there now. So I'm hopeful that maybe there's like a little crossover. We can talk some Sam Ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, so in that live session y'all had the other day, Ronnie Snow was commenting a lot. He's one of my good buddies. So he was actually the principal at the school that Josh coached at for a while.
No way.
I could probably make that connection for you if I need
Love
to.
it. Love it. Yeah. I would just love like Sam Houston showing up on NFL sidelines, Sam Houston showing up on the internet. Just we need the Bearkats everywhere. So that's just another peg that we can kind of pull.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right. You ready for the next one?
Now, I'm not going to lie, Corey.
Yeah.
You might have run through a decent bit of my knowledge, but I'm excited to see. I'm hoping the actual Sam Houston pops up because I feel like I can get him. But outside of that, it might be slim pickings.
I think you'll be fine with most of them, but this one's really going to test some of your knowledge from the FCS days. So 3, 2, 1, go.
That's not Tim, is it? He didn't march well.
No.
This guy.
What position?
Wide receiver
and
wide out.
Yeah.
Wide out. Did he go pro or he was just a stud? And
he made it to training camp and he played in the UFL XFL for 2 years.
He was
recent
part of the
guy,
national
right?
championship team.
I don't know. Who is it?
Did he catch the touchdown pass that won the game?
No, so that was a day. So this is Jaquez Ezzard. Okay. So he was the MVP of the national title game. I don't know if you remember our comeback against James Madison where we scored, I think it was 28 points in 3 minutes. He had a kick return touchdown and a 70-yard touchdown catch within about 45 seconds of game time.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so he'll always be remembered for being the MVP of the title game.
So I'm going to just go hand up. I'm going to go hand up. Completely honest here. I didn't even realize Sam won because the whole core of the decision in that video is losing back-to-back titles. What year did they win?
So it was the COVID year. So we actually won in May of 2021. And so they call it the 2020 national title, but it was played in 2021. So yeah, then that was the last full year before we went FCS. We kind of played an abbreviated schedule, then went FBS the next year.
Got it. Okay. All right, cool.
Jack, from someone who attended that national title game in Frisco, Texas that year, it is the only time I've attended a football game and had to take a delay for a tornado warning.
Oh,
yeah. Game lasted about 5 hours.
Oh my God. I mean, just stressful, elation. Another weird one. I'm a Ravens fan, but Ravens Saints Super Bowl when the lights went out. So again, the championship delays and connections are a real thing. In the Frisco one, they play that outside. I thought Frisco. Now did they play at the Star?
They're in the middle of renovating where FC Dallas plays. So that's where the game was. So they've got a lot of renovations going on. I don't know if they're making it closed in.
No, they're not. They're not putting a roof on the FC Dallas. They're really they're redoing the home side. A lot more suites. They didn't have a lot of press room, things like that. They're major reconstructing of the stadium. The bowl game right now, the Frisco Bowl that was played there is being played inside the Star. Yeah. But they moved the FCS national title game to Nashville.
Right. Yeah. I knew that.
So we're hoping to get it back. I hope it comes back to Frisco, though. That's fun.
Yeah, everyone says Frisco is the best. Although I have some Cats, fans who said like Nashville was a time, as you can imagine. Nashville can be a time.
Yeah, I was there last year for the game in Nashville.
You are?
Yeah, nice. It was cool.
Oh, Nashville's fine, but it's not Frisco because I'm closer.
All right.
That's how that goes. All right. I think you'll get this one. It's a recent player. 3, 2, 1, go.
See, that's where my ball knowledge stops. That I assume that's quarterback from 2 years ago. I mean, I see the New Orleans
quarterback last year.
Oh, last year.
Until he got hurt. Yeah, but he was also the quarterback of the team when we won the New Orleans Bowl. That's Hunter Watson. So
Hunter Watson. Okay. Where's he in the world right now?
So he's still looking to try to get that 5th year, kind of ran out of eligibility. So not sure what his next step is, but had a knee injury last year. So he missed half the season. So we'll see what happens with him.
He's one of those NFL players about to come back for college, right?
Yeah. I see General Sam in the YouTube chat. He says the king of Hunts Vegas, which
Hunter Watson is for
Yes.
the people. He's a great dude.
I love that.
Yeah, he is awesome. All right. This one you may know. 3, 2, 1, go.
That is okay. So I know that there's 2 iconic coaches. So one is at Houston now.
Yeah.
And his name is this him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally, I knew I was going to be prepped on. I prepped for this. And now his name is, give me his initials. It's just
WF.
Is it Freeze?
Kind of close. Willie Fritz.
Will Fritz. I like knew it, but I just Willie Fritz.
Yeah. So he was the coach when we went to those first 2 national title games.
Right. But is there? And then there's a coach recently who was also really good, right?
He's on here too. He's in like 1 or 2 more.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's after this next one we got. This next one's another one of those quarterbacks. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Is that a bowl game? The patch?
That's
national
the national
title game.
Oh, so the national title winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teach me.
Yeah. Eric Schmid.
Schmitty.
Yeah. So incredible dude, a warrior, got killed that game, was throwing up blood on the sideline the entire second half.
Oh my God.
Just an absolute dog. He's from about 30, 40 minutes south of Huntsville. So he's a local kid. Didn't start his first 2 years. But yeah, really
Taking
good.
notes.
And then, so that's the national championship game. The jersey back here is the one he wore when we won the semifinal. So that's like my most famous prize possession for
that's freaking epic. I'm hoping so. Like I've got signed KD jersey. I'm a obviously Texas guy. I got an Orioles jersey from Baltimore. Penn State signed by Saquon and a bunch of players on the team. My wife went to Penn State, so she got me that. And then behind me, I actually have a second one. This is from the Knicks finals run when Mitch Rob dunked on Embiid. I made a poster, aka I just printed something out. So I'm waiting to get my Sam Houston jersey. That's obviously going to fill the 4th slot. All right, so 100%. Eric Schmid, natty title. Hunter Watson.
Hunter Watson was the bowl game quarterback.
Okay. All right. And I knew Fritz. It just escaped my memory.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yeah, we got 2 or 3
also
more.
from the national title. 3, 2, 1, go.
That's the other coach you were thinking of.
That is.
I don't know his name. What's his name?
Casey Keeler. And he is currently the coach at Temple.
Yeah.
Also, a little more history on him. He is the only coach, I believe, to take 2 separate teams, 2 separate programs, and win national titles. He won one at Delaware with Joe Flacco.
Yep. Oh, there we go. The Ravens. Yeah. There we go.
There it is, right? Like,
he was my childhood. He was my childhood. So another funny story is, so when did Casey go to Temple?
So that was before last season. So right after the 24 year, he left between the final regular season game and the New Orleans Bowl.
Got it. Okay. So Icy Vert, who you guys have probably seen on Twitter, right? He does, he's been streaming Sam Houston now as his NCAA 27 series. That's because I forget if it was 2 or 3 years ago now. He started an online dynasty or, a dynasty mode with Temple. And his name was Coach Higgles LaSponge or something. And so he played with Temple. It took him like 20 plus years. He would lose in the championship like every year. And so we're trying to see how quickly he can win with Sam Houston. But it's funny, that's where, technically Casey replaced Sir Higgles LaSponge, and now Sir Higgles LaSponge is down in Huntsville. Coach Longo can have the real life job. Higgles LaSponge will take the current job.
Yeah.
You want another Baltimore reference? Another Baltimore connection? My wife is from New Jersey. She's a big Ray Rice fan.
Ah, there we go. All right. Ray Rice, Joe Flacco, Bolden. I mean, that was my childhood. And I mean, now it feels like we're trying to draw ties, but not like New Orleans Bowl. Ravens won the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Like, I'm just saying, there's some real mojo here.
Yeah.
All right. I think this next one might be a little tough. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Wow. I love that jersey. I like the blue. I feel like we've ditched the blue.
They ditched it in 2020. Yep.
I don't know if I agree with that decision, but
I'm not as big a fan of the blue.
You're not a blue fan?
Not with the outline on the logo thing on the helmet.
Yeah. It just gives you a little something that, like, I guess because they probably played in these every time they wore them, right? Like this isn't an alt jersey.
No.
I would love to bring those black jerseys. Those would be,
with Sammy's head on the helmet.
Oh yeah, those would be, yeah. Who is this?
So that is Jeremiah Briscoe, all-time leading passer. He was the quarterback with Phil Longo when Longo was here as the OC.
Got it.
And he won the Walter Payton Award, which is like the FCS Heisman when he was at Sam Houston.
Which Cameron Ward won.
The Walter Payton Award is the FCS Heisman?
Heisman, yes.
Walter Payton, did he play FCS?
Yes.
Yes. I can't remember what school, but he was FCS.
I want to say Mississippi Valley. Well, Jerry Rice was Mississippi Valley State.
Let's see.
Walter was, I think he was another HBCU.
He went to I'd have to figure it. Jackson State.
Jackson State. It was Jackson State, another swag school.
I feel like the SEO on the Walter Payton Award's got to be brutal. You know, the NFL one feels like it's got some real brand equity. I didn't even know about that, but that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
All right. Last one. I think you're going to get this one.
Come on, Cory. Show me the real Sam Houston.
3, 2, 1, go.
Is that Timmy?
That's Timmy.
He flipped into the end zone. I do remember that. That was iconic. I got the follow back today on Twitter. I'm hoping to bring him to Huntsville with us so we can meet and get him reacquainted with everyone. But what a freaking picture that is. I mean, he's iconic. A great dude too. He is.
I got to interview him and Coach Fritz a few years ago for a story on him. It's just it is so awesome.
Yeah, good dude. Yeah, that was the first year we played SFA, who used to be our big rival at NRG Stadium, and beat him by, I think, 35, flipped into the end zone, #1 play on SportsCenter. It was awesome.
Yeah. All right, so before I leave, give me the breakdown over like who we love or who are okay with in Texas and regionally, and who our real rivals are. And I can give you a little bit if people need to know the Texas Tech beef, which was, I would call it 1% of the fun of them being on the schedule this season. But you guys educate me.
Yeah, so SFA was our longtime rival. Really don't play them a lot anymore, but that was the Battle of the Piney Woods. I think it was the longest standing rivalry in Texas, that or Texas A&M. But we don't play them much anymore because they're still FCS. The big rival now is Texas State. So we played them at NRG, beat them 2 years ago. They had these hats that said "Take Back Texas" on them. That was kind of their slogan. We beat them, and Casey Keeler walked in with a "Took Back Texas" hat with our colors on it.
Love that.
So that was cool. There was a big beef on Twitter with UTEP when they were in the conference. So that's where the two things came from. Anytime we would get into beef with UTEP fans, that's kind of where two things came up. But those were the three in Texas. In North Texas, also, people weren't happy they took our entire defense 2 years ago. So they're kind of on the hate list.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And anybody in Conference USA, non-named Bearkats.
Yes. Yep.
Kind of how that goes. You have to win.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you for having me.
Jack, thank you so much for being on with us.
Excited to meet you boys very soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. We're both actually, neither one of us are in Huntsville now.
You got to come to the game we're going to. You got to be there.
I will be at Missouri State, so I'll see you.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I've got all those other non-FBS teams. So we'll see if the wife allows me to travel for one. Or
Fair
not
enough.
there.
Fair enough. Well, appreciate you, fellas.
Yeah. Thanks for
Jack,
coming
thank
on.
you so much, man. We
Yep.
really appreciate it.
Thanks.
That was Jack Settleman, CEO of SnapBack Sports, and I want to say a huge thank you to him for that. That was awesome. We've got a whole lot to get into, including what Phil Longo said about fall camp, and we'll get to that after we hear this word from our friends at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Jason, I see your question. I will give that answer at the end of this segment here. We got to talk about the fall camp, and Phil Longo held about a 25-minute press conference. Here was his opening thoughts about the program after fall camp.
I am very, very happy about the progress that we've had during camp. We got started, they reported on the 4th. We got started on the 5th. I like where we are right now from a physicality standpoint. I like where we are from a speed standpoint. And it's we are looking forward to hitting somebody besides ourselves, obviously. But these next 2.5 to 3 weeks that we have, we need them. And so we're going to take advantage of every day here. We're healthy right now. And I don't think that we've had any negative surprises. So camp is on schedule. It's on point right now. And I think the staff and the players have some camaraderie that we were lacking last year. And I'm excited about where we're headed the second half of camp.
What was your biggest takeaway from that, Ben?
Yeah, I think that they're healthy. When I was there on day 3, Chris Reed was a little banged up. You had Isaac Sohn a little banged up and Brock Stukes a little banged up on the O-line. So good to hear they're healthy, and they're all guys that I had heard, should be back within a week. So the health part was big, and I know he had mentioned Chris Reed a little later in the episode too, saying he's back out there slowly getting into things. So just good to hear that they're getting healthy at the right time and bringing in those couple of pieces that are super important.
We've got a lot of position stuff coming up. But first, there's a lot of positivity right now. Something we've not been able to really talk about in a long time with Sam Houston, especially the football program. So here's the first part of what Phil Longo had to say on the positivity around the program right now.
There's an excitement in our building right now. There's some momentum. There's some morale. And there's a lot of people coming out of the woodwork right now with the ribbon cutting and the new stadium, and the Bearkats are returning home. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now that are feeding this program.
A lot of things feeding the program. He's right. There was a little more he had to say about the positivity.
But you step off the field and you take a look at the number of people that have growing interest in our program. I know there are some still sitting there waiting to see where this thing goes. And then there are some who have jumped in already, and we have a lot of, there's a long list of positive injection in this program right now. So much has happened in the spring and the summer, and we want it all to impact the final product on the field.
Ben, it is a completely different vibe around that program this year.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It feels completely different from a roster perspective, financial perspective, vibes. If you can quantify vibes, I don't know. It feels a lot different. The SnapBack thing, I think, continues to push the momentum. You had the FCCU deal. I went to training camp. Things felt really good. The SnapBack deal. Everything is the stadium opening. It just feels like it's one thing after another, and the momentum just continues to build.
And look, Longo talked about it. The players are feeling it. And here's what he said about some of the energy around campus, even having students back.
It is. I won't lie to you. You know, we watched a student gathering the other day in the stadium. A huge turnout, a lot of positivity, a lot of excitement. Something we didn't see any of last year because we weren't even here. And I think our players sitting in a team meeting, looking out at our stadium and our field, and looking at 1,500 to 2,000 students come over that are new here to join us in the stadium to kick off this whole thing. Just lets them know how important they are.
Couldn't agree more, Ben.
Yeah, and he talked about the student gathering that they went to. I know it's a little different, but my cousin's in the band at Sam Houston now, and I don't know if you saw the pictures, but the football players went over and spent some time with the band. They were holding, the drums and the cymbals and the trumpets and stuff. So cool to see them get integrated, with the new freshman class, because that's what the gathering was at Bauer Stadium, and just be involved in the community. We saw the post at HEB today, so all good stuff.
That's the stuff you got to do. He knows it. He's doing it. And, yeah, there is some barbecue sauce, some Bearcat barbecue sauce that we need to get Coach Longo's thoughts on. Maybe in a couple of weeks, but the Troy press conference, we can ask him that. The rest of this fall camp that you're talking about, if you really want to know what Phil Longo has to say, go read Ben's breakdown on our Substack.
Yeah, well, yeah, he hit on a few of the things, Chris Reed coming back, Tyler Bailey being a leader. I think he mentioned Brian Bates at some point. So a lot of good stuff.
All of it, good stuff. Starting with quarterbacks. He had a long answer on quarterbacks, a lot about how QB1, Landon Locke is QB1. That changes a lot of things. We haven't had that kind of certainty in a while around Huntsville. And then he gave some comments, some things on the game planning that we're going to listen to here, and then the backup competition.
Really get to a point where I'm almost collaborating with Landon. We discuss plays and collaborate on some things that we want to do offensively because of his knowledge of the game, both defensively and from an offensive strategy standpoint. So that allows me to have some time to go develop the rest of the room. So we've got DJ Bailey back, and he's competing. We've got Brett Holloway. He's competing, very athletic. And then we have Mason Holtzclaw, a very different quarterback, probably a little bit similar to, the make and model of Landon Locke. And then we have our young, very talented walk-on in Sean Patel. So I am enjoying this quarterback room as much as just about any.
And we heard him say that at Media Day as well, Ben. I'm curious your thoughts. The collaborating with the quarterback, I kind of want that to happen all the time. They're the one throwing the ball.
Yeah, I think it's just more of a deepened relationship. And I got to see that a little bit, at practice and when I was in the building there a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We didn't have it last year. Sam Houston hasn't had it in a long time. To know who QB1 is, you can invest. You want to invest in all the guys in that room, but who you need to turn a lot more attention to. And I think it also helps Longo has the relationship with Braden, his brother. He coached him at Wisconsin. He's known Landon and his family for a while. So I think the continuity there is in a really good spot.
And he mentioned that was part of the answer before that part right there. And I think one thing he did say about Landon I found really encouraging was that he's a film rat. Yeah. And when I hear Kirk Signetti talk about what made Mendoza different, he's a film rat.
Yeah. Well, I came into the building from a lunch I had back to meet with Coach Longo when I was there. And the quarterback's room or the film room, is right here. And and then about right here is Longo's office. So you got to pass the film room, and Landon was in there with two of the QBs grinding tape, right after practice. So that was cool to see him kind of taking the lead there.
Love it. That's how you're going to get better. Buddy's got to have somebody to throw to. I know our man Fobbs is a little concerned about a number one. Here's what Phil Longo had to say about wide receivers.
So at wide receiver, we have, we're trying to – I would really like Lane for one of them to just separate themselves. I think we have we're getting a really, really good camp out of Tim Burns. Chris Reed is really just getting started for us. He's been out a few days, and then we've got 5 or 6 new members in that room. Tremendous speed improvement over last year. I think we have some playmakers in that room, and really between Elijah Kaysen and Kamari Maxwell and KBJ and Chris Reed and Tim Burns, those 5 really give us some considerable depth. And then Christian Zachary is a longer, rangier wide receiver who has really started to show up here in the last few days.
Okay, listen, I understand my man Fob's opinion and desire to have a wide receiver 1. Maybe that is something that we'll just have to develop, hopefully, as the season plays. And when you're really going to know is when you need that third down, you need that crucial play, and it happens. Who's catching that ball? That's when you're going to know wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I've got 2 thoughts about this. Just from my conversations, I think Chris Reed is wide receiver number 1, and he just hasn't been out there a lot. They're looking for somebody else to get up there, and I think Tim Burns could be that guy, based on Longo's comments. So, who else can separate themselves and be, the Y on the outside or the X, alongside Chris Reed. I think the second part of it, too, is it's interesting how differentiated, like, he doesn't call Grady O'Neal a wide receiver. It's almost like 2 different positions, because Grady O'Neal technically is a wide receiver, but he didn't mention him in that conversation. So it's almost like they see him as 2 different positions, and they kind of are, but it's just interesting to see how separated they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. We are doing O-line, D-line, and I think special teams preview, because we just didn't plan this as well as I should have, but that's okay. We'll hear the O-line thoughts later when we get to the position preview on there. Cornerbacks. Last year, unfortunately, we watched a lot of people torch the secondary. So Phil Longo made some changes. Here's what he had to say.
Longer, we're running better. We wanted to be a little bit rangier at corner, and we've done that through recruiting. It's a battle every day for our receivers, which is good because there's some good competition between those 2 rooms. It will help us, I think, get in front of some people, and we also have more depth in that room. And so instead of hoping that your top 2 corners stay healthy all season, we've got 4 or 5 that we're rolling through right now that give you an opportunity to keep people fresh. And so we're happy with that room. I don't know that we're ready to declare 2 starters, but you've got some considerable speed in some guys like Cottrell, and then you got some range like we do with Ish Atkins and Carlos McGee. We are a little bit different from a physicality standpoint at that position also. So happy so far.
God, you need more physicality there.
Yeah, and he brought up Aaron Edwards, I think, at a different point in the press conference, too.
I think it's on the safeties that we might
get
to.
Yeah, but, Justin Cottrell's an interesting piece. I don't think he wasn't really running with the ones when I was there, but dude is an athlete. I think he's a guy that could get after it on special teams, solid depth. One name I'll add, McGee and Atkins are probably the 2 biggest names to know at corner. But Dravon Wilson, I really thought had a good day when I was there, and he was taking some reps with the ones. He had a couple interceptions last season. I believe it was as a redshirt freshman or a true freshman. I can't remember. But watch out for Dravon Wilson as well.
It is awesome to have some depth in the defensive backfield this year.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Safeties. Here's what Phil Longo had to say.
Safety-wise, we added Aaron Edwards, late addition. So he is, he's a quick study right now. We're trying to catch him up. Tyler Bailey is the probably the top veteran coming back that understands the defense more than the rest of them, and so those 2 kind of cap out. From veteran to the new beginner, we've got a number of guys, including Braylon Wortham, doing a good job in camp. There's probably 5 or 6 guys rolling through those 3 safety spots right now. And then I'd say one really bright spot on defense is our nickel, Chase Arnold.
I'm curious how quick a safety can get caught up on that on the defense. We're this close to the season start.
Like I said in my piece on Aaron Edwards a few weeks ago, we saw it done with Isaiah Cash. So I think it can be done, possibly. I also like that he brought up Jace Arnold. That nickel spot was one that was a little bit of a concern for me. Glad to hear that Jace Arnold is emerging. Another name that I want to mention that he didn't talk about that got a lot of reps was Raylan Adams, a guy that wasn't on my radar a ton. And then he also mentioned Braylon Wortham, who I think has made some pretty good strides this offseason.
Definitely. We have more coming up, position previews here. Let me get to some things. Okay, General Sam watching on YouTube wants to know, how were the freshman DBs looking?
Yeah, I'm trying to log my mind on the freshman DBs right now. Let's do that at the end.
Okay.
Scatterbrained right now.
Let me answer Jason's question. Jason Plotkin watching on Facebook. Cory, what's the word on the new D2 program at Texas Wesleyan? They got their official invite finally. I pretty much broke that, maybe not broke it, but reported it back in February on my Substack. So there, for me, I was like, oh, it's official. And other people are like, didn't I already know that? They're going to go into the Lone Star Conference. They've received an invite, and they'll be joining that again soon. I will have CoryHogueSports.substack.com. We'll have another piece on that Tuesday, mid-morning on Texas Wesleyan.
Yes.
That is the update there. Stay away from the blue. General Sam, me and you. Stay away.
The fan base, I feel like, is very split on that. And I don't really like the blue, but I know a lot of people do.
I'm okay with it on the jersey like we saw with Briscoe, but I just can't get behind that on the outline of the logo. It just didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, I would tend to agree.
That was my problem with it. But nobody really asked me because no one really cares my opinion most of the time. Anyway, if you are enjoying the show, help us grow by rating, reviewing, subscribing, finding March to the Pod on your favorite podcast platform. Remember, March, the number 2, the pod, it's all one word. Subscribe also to our Substack page, marchtothepod.substack.com. We're going to have a volleyball preview coming up Wednesday. We have the weekly recap is back since soccer is playing again. A lot of things coming on there. Ben's thoughts. Our football preview will be coming up here in a couple of weeks. You definitely want to stay tuned. We got a lot of really good stuff planned throughout the season on our Substack. And then you can find out what we're doing by following us and finding us and subscribing on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. March to the Pod, the number 2, March to the Pod. We're also proud members of the CUSA Podcast Roundtable, shows covering all 10 Conference USA programs.
We did get voted last in the roundtable. And you know who? This is behind the scenes, but you know who had the Cats ranked the highest out of everybody? It was me. So.
You? I figured
Yes.
it was, yeah. Listen, when I saw that number 10, I just smiled.
Yeah. Yeah. When the breakdown was released of, the highest and lowest vote each team got, I was the highest for Sam Houston.
That's awesome. So we got some soccer to talk about briefly before we get to the position previews. But before we do any of that, we need to hear more from our friends at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Big thank you to our friends over at Eternal Roofing. The soccer program, they played their first game. I was encouraged. A draw at Oklahoma State. Second game, Sunday night, I didn't come away as encouraged. It was another draw. It was a scoreless draw, Ben. But at first, let me just be completely honest. Because I watch too much soccer that's not Americana soccer. I watch the European style a lot. And
you were encouraged for a little while.
I was very encouraged when I thought Sam Houston was wearing black. But they were not. And I figured that out about 10 minutes to go in the first half. And I went, well, damn, it's not good at all.
Yeah, no.
When I looked up at the scorebook, I was like, you dummy. You could have looked up there and seen Lamar was the team wearing the black jerseys. Oh, what do they're on the road. I assumed, and you know what happens when you assume, right?
It makes an ass out of you and me.
Yep. We've had a lot of ass out of me here in the over the years. That, Ben, just that game at Lamar, we wanted to see more midfield control. We didn't see bubkas from them that I thought was better until the last maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, and that was kind of the theme of the previous game against Oklahoma State too. And that was the concern coming into this year. You know, you lost a few pieces on defense, had a little bit of a question at goalie. But overall, you're like, the defense can do this again, but can the offense take the step forward? To this point, they really haven't. But the one thing that does kind of shine through, and I guess is a positive, is you've had a really good attack. You know, the last 10 minutes of Oklahoma State, the last 20 minutes of Lamar. So maybe you are the better conditioned team. And that's something that maybe you can lean on. So that's maybe a positive I'll try to find from it.
Maybe we could not be quite as good, well conditioned at the end if we use some of that attacking ability before.
A little bit less on the R2 turbo, or a little more on the R2 turbo.
Yeah, listen. They look like a team. When it gets to the end, it's almost like they're like, oh, okay, let's go play. You got to do that from the start, in my opinion. Now, look, the defense can't complain. One goal, give it up, and you've been under so much pressure. We're going to get to those stats in just a second. But you've been under immense pressure, and then you have a goalie. You have a goalie, maybe one of the top in the conference. The way she gets peppered.
Would you say "stip" means stop in Spanish?
It means stop in football. Football. Yeah. You got to say it. You got to say football, because you say football. That that's that gridiron game, but this football. Yes. There are two matches.
Yep.
Opponents have outshot the Cats 40-13.
Yeah.
And 21 of 25 shots. They're shooting 21 shots before half, 40 total, 16 corners in two matches combined. Sam Houston's had 4. The only way you get fewer, you're not even attacking. And I think the problem, the first half has been, we talked about it a little bit here, it's been outrageous, a lot worse. My thing right now is the offense seems to be, in a hockey terminology, dump and pray, right? Dump and chase, but in soccer, it's a dump and pray.
Right, yeah, you kick it downfield, hope you stay on side, have someone try to go chase it and make a play. There's no structure to the attack, I guess you could say. There's
not anyone. They're not trying to hold the ball, keep possession, look for those openings. As soon as the midfield gets it, they're looking upfield at one of the forwards and they're trying a through pass. And I mean, look, it's great when you have Erling Haaland and he can outrun everybody, but you don't have Erling Haaland.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Maybe he'll have another year.
Yeah. So
okay. 2 matches. It is Oklahoma State, a P4, and it is Lamar, who we know is typically a pretty solid soccer program. Should we be concerned about the midfielder?
I would lean towards yes, but it's also still too early. Based on the results, it hasn't been good. There's still time to fix it. It's going to be a tough match to fix it next, even though Texas A&M did lose to Texas State the other night. But yeah, I would say the concern level is rising. It might not be at a boil yet, but it's getting there. The temperature.
See, I'm one that I tend to hit that button. a lot quicker. I'm not there yet. Oklahoma State, this next game, 7 p.m. Saturday, Texas A&M. I'm not there yet, but if I see another 1 or 2 matches when they play a team along the same, what I feel like they probably should win, I feel like they should beat Lamar. I do.
Yeah.
And you look like that and you're not controlling the ball any better, I'm hitting that button pretty quick. You don't have long. I'm not expecting you to come out and dominate Texas A&M, but man, we're getting to a point where either the midfield plays or we start looking to next season or something.
Yeah, and I mean it's still early too, and I think this kind of style can compete in Conference USA, but it's not going to win you the title. Can it go get you 4th place again? I think it could, but I don't know if it's enough to push for the top of the league.
We'll find out. It's going to be fun to watch. Saturday night, 7 p.m., Texas A&M. It's their only game this week. We're getting towards September. Benjamin, have you made your appointment yet with Eternal Roofing for lights?
Not yet, but I don't know if there's any room left.
I think we're starting to get close to bringing out our favorite Christmas song. The official Christmas song of the March to the Pod.
It was played in
pre-show.
Pre-production. Yeah.
Meh, sometimes I do something. We're not going to play that right now, though, because we're going to tell you how, if there's still room and still time to get on that list from Eternal Roofing to get those Christmas lights put.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Next Door's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, "They're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home." Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Okay. So I was wrong earlier in partly. We're doing offensive line, defensive line today. Next week, we're going to do linebacker, DB, special teams. I didn't play quite well enough, but that's okay.
We had a big guest on. That's all right.
We did. And plus next week, you don't want to miss this. My bet for the over-under. Which way am I going? It's 3.5.
Yeah.
I think people know where I'm going, but could also be a little bit confused.
Yeah.
Could be confusing. See. Okay. Before we get into this, though, I do want to get the comment here from Jason Plotkin. Any word on plans to get students hyped for the home opener?
Yeah, I know they had the freshman gathering thing in the Neubauer Stadium. They typically do that at the Coliseum. I thought that was a good idea. They announced the all-access pass for sporting events. They put that out on social media. We're still a few weeks away from the first home game because you start on the road, but hopefully we get a little bit more buzz from the student perspective. Maybe you bring in someone for a concert for the tailgate, maybe a giveaway, something like that. I don't know. Those are just some ideas.
They had a ribbon cutting for the press box that doesn't have room for the writing press.
Yeah.
Just not that I'm upset about that anymore. Hey, let's get into this position preview. Offensive line. Phil Longo had some things to say about the offensive line. It remains my personal number one concern for this year is the offensive line. Here's what Longo had to say.
So Isaac Sohn, one of those individuals that's back, has been the anchor right now, and he's about as consistent and as efficient as we have up front. And there are a lot of new faces in there, and right now we're looking at 8 or 9 guys that we like, that we think have. We're much more athletic right now. We move our feet better. And everybody in there, as Coach Bicknell will tell you, is, we've got an itemized list of what they need to get better at. But overall, as a unit, this room is improving on a daily basis. Danelle Nix has had a good camp. Brock Stukes has had a good camp. Jimmy Wallace is coming along. Carter Cotto is competing. Elijah Collins is coming along. He's gotten better in the last 4 or 5 days. And we have more than 2 returning. I mean, Zoe Bryan has had a good camp so far. Logan Cahill's had a good camp so far. But Isaac Isaac and Grayson Spann are the 2 guys that were on this team that know the system and that got some playing time, that are back right now, rotating through, with the 1s and the 2s that we feel like have been maybe the most consistent.
Did that help you any, Ben?
I think it goes back to the health. Just glad that Stukes and Sohn are healthy because they're 2 huge pieces. The one thing, the one guy he did not bring up, and this is very interesting. I brought this up in the spring. It came up again in my conversations when I was there. But do you know the one guy he did not bring up that everybody talks? Josiah Chenault, who was the All CUSA.
Yes, the center. Yeah.
So the conditioning stuff, is still a concern. He's in the 2 deep, but that's a guy a lot of people think is going to anchor this O-line, and he'll be in the 2 deep, but it doesn't look like he's going to be in that starting group right now. So that's just a point, to point out.
No, that's very valid because you were expecting him, having been all conference, to come in and take control, and he just hasn't, and that's a concern. And my concern when I hear this is he went on to talk about rotating 8 or 9 offensive linemen. I don't know if you got more than 2 right now, to be honest, that you truly trust.
Yeah, I mean, Stukes, Nix, and Sohn are probably the top 3 in my mind. Carter Cato, Nathan McClellan, or maybe 2 more at tackle. Logan Cahill, ton of upside. I think he'll get there, but is he there right now? We'll see. Elijah Collins, ton of playing experience at Western Carolina. I think he's the guy that'll get there, but is he there right now? So, like I said a week or 2 ago, I think this room has the most room to grow, but it's how fast can they grow and get there?
The thing I loved most that Longo said in that press conference was that it's Jack Bicknell's job to figure out the 5.
And I think,
here you go.
Yeah. And he trusts him, and I would too. I mean, I love the way he commands that room. People respect him. And Longo's been with him. I think this is his 4th stop now. Ole Miss, North Carolina, Wisconsin. Now here, Longo knows who he is, what he brings to the table. You trust him. And that's a good sign. We've talked a lot about Longo delegating, and I think he's done that here, which is a good thing, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The one where a lot of people think, and it's kind of, maybe it was like that last year, Longo wants to take control, but it's good to see him hand the reins over for that position group.
No, it is. And I won't say I was off in my disgruntlement about Longo and his hands-on and trying to control everything. I also think a lot of that's because he didn't quite have everyone in place that he really trusted and wanted at that time. And I think he's in a better spot in that area this year. And so he can delegate more. He feels more comfortable to delegate a lot of this stuff. The one thing he will not delegate ever is play calling, and that's him. Okay, listen, you. I know there's all this debate about head coaches and play calling, and we did Sarkisian, but look, man, how many Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl? He calls plays still to this day. Now he's calling them up in Pittsburgh. God, my Steelers are so bad this year. It's just there are so many. Matt LaFleur. Everybody thinks he's a wonderful coach. He's calling plays. Like, it doesn't mean you can't win. It doesn't mean you can't win a national title or a Conference USA title if you're the Bearkats. It is an added responsibility. But now that I think here's what I've kind of gleaned from media day in the first press conference is that he has released some of that. And I think that's making the program a whole lot better.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I've seen it behind the scenes too. It's gotten a lot better this offseason. And that's part of the positive vibes and positive momentum, moving in the right direction,
Look, Phil Longo gets credit for this stuff, right? Like I've been as hard on him as I could be early on. He gets credit for where you see the improvement and stuff. Now we need to see that on the field. He gets it. He knows it. He understands that part. Now, one reason why I'm not quite as encouraged about the offensive line could be because that D-line seems a little straight up nasty, Ben. Tell us some more about those guys.
Yeah, I know we've briefly hit on it a few times the last couple of weeks, but it is the strongest position group on the roster, and specifically at the defensive tackle position. You're 6 or 7 deep at D tackle. The 3 guys you brought in, Dimitri Nicholas, Justin Terrell, Jara Anderson. I think I mentioned it after the camp report. Jara Anderson, I mean, just pops. He just blew up 1 or 2 plays during the inside zone run period. Then you bring back Dylan Frazier, the hero of the Oregon State game. One of the mini heroes, had 14 tackles. DJ Jackson, who I think looked really good when I was there. He looks in good shape. Stephon Boyd, another one. And then there's a couple freshmen, Errol West has some good size, Uzziah Warmate as well. I don't know how much they factor in this year, especially when you're 6 deep with some veterans, but I like what I saw from them too. On the edge, you're maybe not quite as deep, but the top end talent is really encouraging. I always bring up Josh Alexander Felton, might be my favorite player on the roster this year. I mean, unbelievable when I was there at 6'3", 265. Chauncey Cheedy picking up where he left off last year. Brody Henderson looks bigger and faster. This was one of the groups where I said the speed really popped, between Alexander Felton, Cheedy, Henderson. The speed was there. Groves, he's listed as a linebacker, but was dropping down and playing on the edge. Looked really good. K.S. Coy was getting a lot of reps. He is a sophomore, took a red shirt last year. I thought he looked pretty good. So you're probably 4 or 5 deep, maybe on the edge, 6 deep on the interior. And that is not something you could have said last year at all.
No, not even close. So here we are. We're 1 week from FCS playing football games.
Less than a week. Oh, yeah, it is tonight. Yeah, Thursday.
It's 1 week.
I got ahead of myself a little bit. I'm excited.
1 week from tonight, we're going to have our predictions. We're going to try to keep the show quicker so we can all get off and watch some football.
It's not a great slate, but it's football, and that's all that matters.
It's football, right? And I have not been able to watch a preseason game since I did watch the Hall of Fame game.
I've got the Texans Raiders on in my office in the TV right here, and Woody Marks ran through someone a minute ago. I was just making sure it wasn't Tristan McCollum, and it wasn't, so we're good.
I want to see what Fernando does. That kid, that guy's interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't know if he's playing or not. The Texans got the ball first, so we'll see what the Raiders do.
I was wearing the Space Cowboys hat today, and you're wearing the Sammy hat and the Sammy golf hat. Listen, I don't know how long it's going to take, but if you're not providing me a fitted, not you personally, but the university where I can purchase a black hat that is going to be just like the ones they're going to wear on the baseball field, because I expect this to be part of that too. Black hat with the Sammy head on it and the Sam Houston logo on the back, then you're failing me. That's all I got to say. That's just where we're at.
Yeah.
I would wear that a whole lot on this show too, by the way, not just out in public, because it would become like, the flying squirrel hat that I wear.
Oh yeah.
Just the head. I want the Sammy one like that.
Yeah.
That's all.
I know.
I'm not asking for much. We gotta, and with this, here's the thing, Ben, and I know we're at the end of the show, but I want to briefly hit on some of that we talked with Jack Settleman earlier, the CEO of SnapBack Sports, who very thankful that he was on. He is fantastic, outstanding guy. Definitely give them follows and everything. But that exposure, that is fantastic. And that exposure can lead to a large influx of income, because exposure, especially when you've got something like Sammy, you've got that iconic logo now, right? So you can get you got the exposure, you get the products out there. My only problem I still have is here we are at a point where it could really start to grow even faster, and you still don't have the product available that you need out there to actually maximize the deal that you have in place that I think might be the best one you could do if you're a Conference USA team.
Yeah, well, we got some encouraging signs last week on the podcast with Jason Barfield. You know, Peter Millar has a sponsorship coming up. Concho Hats has a sponsorship coming up. No Rivals, who this hat is from, it sounds like that line is expanding. I think it was September 9th. They said Home Field Apparel is supposed to drop a line for Sam Houston. So hopefully we're starting to turn a corner here.
I need that Sammy Head baseball hat.
Yeah.
Fitted.
Yeah.
I'm a fitted hat guy. I don't have hair, so I don't need that open space back there.
Right.
Just.
Yep. We did get that question on the freshman DBs. Did want to hit on that just super quick. These are my notes from camp. There's a lot of writing on these.
Oh, that's right. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that one.
Yeah. So I circled names that, just popped out to any degree. CJ June, who's a freshman safety, Julian Mayfield, corner, Joseph Opara, corner. So those were three of the freshman DBs I had circled. So lots of writing and stuff on these, but yeah, those were the three I had circled for freshman DBs.
There you go. Man of the people, bringing all the Bearkats knowledge. I'm just going to go ahead and say this was our best show ever just because it had Jack Settleman on, and you didn't have to hear so much from me.
That's all right. We'll be back next week to make up for it.
That's right, and we get to hear what? Just off the top of your head right now, Ben.
Mendoza just threw what? Oh, Mendoza. No, he missed the tackle. He threw a pick six.
Whoa, that's not good. That's not good. So just interesting to 3.5. Do you think I right now am leaning over or under?
I think you might have given it away in the interview with Jack. You were like, last year it was obvious it was one way. Now it's obvious it's another. So
okay, so how far do you think though?
It's going to be 4 or 5 wins, but that's still over.
Yeah. I mean, look, I do think over is coming, but it's the number of wins. I'm not exactly. I don't know. I don't know, and I think some of us may see a bowl game. I'm going to have to really dig in this week and see if I can find that path. I don't know that I'm there yet.
Get in the lab.
I got to get in the lab. I'm here behind a desk. I've got a dog over there stretching on her back because I'm not giving her any attention. Life stinks sometimes, because then all I do is watch sports.
Could be worse.
Can I have a complaint today before we go?
Let's do it.
Mother Nature, get your act together. It is the Little League World Series up in Williamsport. I don't know what in the world you're thinking. Can't be canceling a whole slate of games in a day. You're going to start at 9 o'clock tomorrow, 2 games at a time? What am I supposed to do? I am going to Frisco tomorrow night to watch the Rough Riders, though.
There you go.
Yep.
Are you gonna bet on that or the Little League World Series?
Listen. I am not going to bet on the Little League World Series. I will never condone. You're a very sick person if you do.
Yeah.
But my betting favorite lost their first game yesterday.
You did give a good call on Colby Rasmus's daughter, though. She's been carving
Kinley
people up and
Rasmus.
making plays.
Dude, that girl is, I'm telling you, best player on the team.
Yeah.
And I mean, she is dynamic. And I thought the kid from Massachusetts last night that was throwing was pretty good too. By the way, if you really want to know who I think probably the best pitcher already is, go look at that. Was it it was the Dominican Republic kid.
And they had to pull him after 6 innings.
Yeah. Well, they pulled him because his elbow started hurting. It was the end of the game. He had a couple outs left. John Boy did a good breakdown of this too. And so his elbow was hurting. So he was like, Coach, I'll go to right field. He was already calling in his sub. They hit the ball to him with the tying run, and this dude throws a laser home. Nails, like the kid just stopped and was like, yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was crazy.
The ball will find you.
Yes, that kid, best pitcher I've seen so far this year at the Little League World Series, but we still have a lot more games to go. I think Texas was. If you don't put any of your money on Texas to cover on that the champion thing, I don't see them there.
For all of our listeners that are betting on the Little League World Series,
If you're a listener betting on the Little League World Series, first off, stop, go pray, seek help. Talk to the Pope, whatever it is you got to do, confession. I don't know. You need help. And also, I'm here to give you advice on who to bet because some of us are sinners and some of us are saints, Ben.
Some of us are a little in between.
Some of us can't make up our mind yet.
Yeah.
That is it for this show. We'll be back next week. Football preview, predictions, all of that coming your way next week. Until then, Ben, take us home.
Yeah, eat 'em up, cats, and over or under. Come back next week and find out.
Are we talking Little League World Series still?